Aloha and welcome to this free video training for coaches. Within this video, we'll cover some powerful questions to help you prepare for success this season. I'm your host, Stacey Mahoy from staceymahoy.com, and I just want to invite you to share this free video training with your most favorite softball coaching pals. First of all, before we dive into the questions, I just want to congratulate you for being a coach and a leader who knows that preparation is essential to success and that getting clear on your goals and your vision is super important in the journey. So get a pen and paper out, have it handy so that you can write down these questions and have a space to get your answers down as well. It's going to move fast, so get ready. All right, I hope you got your pen and paper handy. I promise you, when you answer these questions and get super clear, it'll help you communicate more effectively with your team. It'll help guide the toughest decisions you'll have to make this season. You'll be able to develop a better cohesiveness within your staff, and it'll be much easier for you to get that buy-in that you need from your players to have a wonderful and successful season, and a fun one too. All right, let's get started with these questions. Number one, what's most important to you? What are your core values? What are some things that you want to live and demonstrate to your team? Number two, what is it that you hope to deliver to your team this season? What is it that you want them to learn from you and remember about this season? And third, what is it that you want your players to feel and experience as they go through this season with you? When they're looking back on this season 6 months from now, 1 year from now, what are some of the feelings you hope come up for them? And what would they say about this season to a friend if they were talking about it? What are some of the things that you hope come to mind and get articulated by them long after the season is over? Take a moment to think about these things and get it written down. Moving on, our next question is, what is it you want others to notice about your team? So when your team is at a park warming up, playing a game, people are walking by, people are walking in, maybe they're sitting to watch, what do you want to stand out to them? What is it that you want to have capture their attention about your team? So take a moment to write this one down too. Building on that last question where you're talking about what you do want to have noticed about your team, the next question deals with what won't you tolerate at all? Like, what will you not accept within your team? Think about what it is that you absolutely will not tolerate when it comes to your team, their behavior, how they play, things they do on and off the field. Write those things down too. All right, I hope these questions have got you thinking. We've got some more good ones for you here. So this is one of them. What is it you want your team to learn and accomplish this season? What do you want them to learn from you? Softball skill-wise and life skill-wise. And what is it that you hope to accomplish with them this year? On the softball end of things, it might be things like, I really want them to have their fundamentals down pat, or I really want to be one of the best hitting teams in the league. Or perhaps it's life skills, like I want my team to know how to bounce back from adversity. I want them to have great communication. I want them to be able to stay positive no matter what. Think about some of the most important things you hope your team learns this season and write those down. All right, now that you've got that down, I want you to think about what one thing would make this season a success. In other words, out of all those things that you want them to learn, if they learn nothing else and all they learned was this one thing, you could look at the season and feel happy about how it went and what was accomplished. You can look at the season and call it a success because this one thing was learned and embraced. What is that? So I hope you enjoyed those questions. I just wanted to touch upon what we stated at the beginning, right? When you take the time to really consider these questions, take them to heart, and get super clear on your answers, there are going to be benefits to your leadership. When you're clear on your direction, what's most important to you and what you're trying to accomplish, you will be much more capable of communicating those things to your team in a clear, concise, powerful way. Without that, your communication's a lot more watered down and it's just a lot harder to follow. You're not going to be as concise and you'll lose the focus of your team. When you have a clear direction, it's much easier to make choices along the way. Your tough decisions are guided by the principles that are most important to you and what it is that your big vision for the season. So having the clarity on these questions will help you make tough decisions a lot more easily, and also make ones that you know you can live with. And when you've got all that going on, the wonderful thing about it is you're a much easier leader to follow. You know what you're talking about. You know where you're headed. You communicate in a clear, concise, powerful way. And it's much easier for your team to receive that, take it in, consider it, and you'll find it much simpler to get that buy-in from your team, especially when your actions and your behaviors are aligned with your core principles and values. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video and the questions, the thought-provoking questions that I supplied for you here. If you want more resources like this to help you grow as a coach, to make sure that you make the most of who you are and what you can deliver to your team, you'll want to be part of the Fast Pitch 411 Online Coaching Resource Center. In this resource center, there are more exercises for you to help you make the most of who you are, things to remember as a softball coach, things to help you grow as a coach. There are some cheat sheets and checklists in there for you with practice planning tips, sample practice schedules, ideas for what to say to parents, and so on and so forth. So if that's something that you would like to have in your back pocket, come on over to fastpitch411.com, where you can get lifetime access to over 70 ready-to-use softball coaching resources to help you be the very best you can be for your team this season. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to share this with your fellow softball coaches.